Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 31, Race 4. And we're here with the Div 2 boys at a very wet Silverstone, where we're doing a one-shot quali, sprint, one-shot quali, and a race. As I'll jump on board and have a look at everybody then. Let's jump on with the Williams of Kessler as he's coming round turn 1 of Abbey. It's a very tricky conditions, and it's just like the UK to be absolutely pissing it down as he comes and approaches the slowest corner of the circuit of Loop. Fly out of Aintree, where you would have DRS open down the Wellington Straight. Oh, just managed to keep hold of his rear end. At the moment, Regan McKinnon is on provisional pole. One or two drivers attempting the intermediates, but it's looking very wet. Goes slightly deep on his entry to Brooklands. Goes very wide out of Luffield. That's not going to be a good line there for the Williams of Kessler. Flows his car out of Woodcote. Down the national pits. Of course, the old pit stops. Right-hander of Cops, where you want to keep it on the circuit. Only manages just. TT Fleasy is on provisional pole. It's looked very, very quick and needs to follow it up through the race. Now the famous Maggots and Beckett's, where the slight touch of the curb, especially them wet, is going to send you off into the grass. Keeping his car going. Regan McKinnon is still on provisional pole with TT Fleasy and Dan Morris all looking like they're contenders. Very slow, tiptoeing around Stowe. I'm a poet, I don't know it. He's got himself up to P9. Final few corners left to go. Goes deep again. Out Vale, and then final couple of corners of Club. Regan McKinnon on pole, 43.8. And by good, reasonable margin. Maybe he's been doing some practice in the wet. Kessler that we've been watching will start 12th. He's won every race so far this season at the lead of the Div 2 Championship and is on provisional pole with a 43.8. TT Fleasy joins him on the front row. Good run on intermediate. Dan Morris just behind them in P3. Real Damon Hill takes pole for the Challenger division. P4. Hot Stepper P5. Darid Carcass on debut. McLaren side by side, 5 and 6. Josh P7. If you're looking for J&B, this is not J&B. Starts P8 on debut. P9 for Skyglide. Shawnee P rounds off the top 10. Fire and Kessler side by side, 11, 12. Dead Divine 13th. Edwin Rio 14th. Big John 15th. Dazza P16th. Both able to dial in their cars. Now it'll be interesting to see what the race weather is like. Do have one or two drivers maybe put their setup on for a dry race. Hey up, Jax, how you doing, my friend? Great performance in Div 1. Very unfortunately, your tyres and your fuel just wasn't working out. So drivers now will be just sorting out their fuel in their, choosing their tyres and whatnot for. You got a banged up voice for kissing lots of women. What, on pages of magazines? We normally have Jack Daniels co-hosting, but he's missing this week. He doesn't have a voice, so he'd be pointless. And drivers now, just sorting out their fuels and their strategy for the sprint. Just be a minute or so before we get underway. It's actually ticking away now. We're gonna get underway. Well, we're gonna have a formation up. Someone's readied up. Hopefully, we can find the culprit, and they will be punished. I don't know how many times we can iterate that. Let's have a look at the tyre strategy. So, Regan McKinnon, Darid Carcass, Josh and Dazza all going for the hards. Everyone else gone on mediums. Very interesting. Very interesting. Div 2 boys last week at Baku and the week before, to be fair, in Vegas was not a great performance by the majority of the grid. Hopefully, with this calendar change, switching from Singapore to Silverstone, we might see a bit more better action on track. Quite a few more drivers finishing. We've only got 16 on the grid. Quite a few full-time drivers unfortunately missing this week. Shit happens. 1 second while we get the dog stop being a martyr. Shawnee and Fire have been colliding already in the formation lap. It isn't even over. Surprise, surprise. We're still a black. Surprise, surprise. Now we've gone from wet conditions, wet like Stevie Wonder's toilet seat, to dry, and that is UK at its finest. Regan McKinnon leads us round through Magnus and Beckett's now, and we'll look to try and add another win to his season's portfolio. TT Fleasy's been looking very strong, especially on a 1 lap pace. Needs to try and follow that up in the race. Where did he finish last week? Got himself P2 in the professional tier. I think he'll be well chuffed with that. Dan Morris P3, eyeing up a win. And Rare needs one, got one last season. Would like another one. Damon Hill P4, what can he do from there? The challenger driver. Hot Stepper and Derek Arcus on debut. All eyes will be on him and see what he can do. Reserve him for C Doggy. Josh and not MJ, not JMG. JMJ, JMG, JMB. Sky IP9, Shawnee and Fire already in the spots. Kessler, Dead Divine, 12th and 13th. Itinerary is invalidated. And we got the back. Whew, I'm losing my touch. It wasn't Dan. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 9-lap sprint, and we're underway here in Silverstone with Div 2. Everyone's turning left. What are you doing that for? TT Fleazy takes the lead of the race ahead of Regan McKinnon. Good start from Shawnee P. The other Sauber making moves up to P7 as it gets congested round turn 3. Very tight, but it's looking like everybody is making it through safe and sound. Very good. Well done, Div 2. Applauds to you guys. TT Fleazy already away like a slingshot. And I think it's Regan McKinnon's tyres are just not a temperature. Big defence on Dan Morris, who goes down the outside of Luffield. Would have better traction coming out of the corner. Slight loss of rear end from Regan McKinnon, but it's going to be side by side going to Cops. Dan Morris has got his nose ahead. Regan McKinnon, oh, slight touch. Regan McKinnon just pulls out last second. Somebody had to, otherwise it'll be a Verstappen Hamilton moment once again. Dan Morris up to P2 as Josh and it's not JMB. I'm telling you, it's not JMB who gets clipped on the Magnum Beckett section, and that goes down to P14, 15 now as the Haas goes through. Big John at the rear, looking to potentially make a move on the Red Bull, but not as yet. Shawnee P and Darrid at Vale. Shawnee P making a fantastic start to the sprint, up to P6 now. DRS is now active. Dan Morris just needs to get within DRS range of the Sauber. Was it the right move to start on hards? Very tricky first couple of laps for the hard runners. Regan McKinnon's managed to stay here with Dan Morris, but is under threat from Damon Hill. Takes a quick look at the Haas and not quite yet making a move as we go down to see Skyglide. The other Aston Martin has had a great start to the season. And is actually in the lead by 1 point ahead of Shawnee P and 4 ahead of Damon Hill. Damon Hill, as it stands in the sprint, has taken that advantage, but is very, very tight as the Ferrari of Dead Divine just ahead of Andrew at Cops. We've got a Haas there as well as JMB goes through. Oh, that was probably not the best place to try and make a move. JMB new to the league, of course, needs to pick his moment. I know it's a sprint, but it's difficult to do. So Damon Hill's got past Regan McKinnon. He's got the inside line here. Regan McKinnon not giving it up and retakes the position. Brilliant move for Regan McKinnon. Skyglide on Josh. Same place. Josh staying ahead though, P8. Oh, and we've got a car in the gravel. It's the Haas of Ardenneri. He's gone wide, coming out of club. It's like he's got clubbed and went off track. Now he's got dirty tyres, needs to just settle himself. 3-car battle here with John, Dead Divine and Idina. Bournemouth 1-0 against Leeds. Bournemouth battling for that European position. I don't think they'll get ahead of Chelsea as yet, but they're slot behind Brighton, I think. Chelsea in trouble. TT Fleasy, nose ahead at the moment. Bit of a gap between him. Dan Morris, Regan McKinnon has fell back away from the front too. Damon Hill, hot stepper, Shawnee P, Darrid. Oh, in close proximities. Damon Hill retakes P3 with DRS as we jump down and see Dazza utilise DRS as well and get ahead of Kessler, who's just got himself a track limits. Oh, what's happened to Josh? It's got all congested here, and Josh has lost out and down to P12. I think he's had a bit of a moment going through Stowe and lost out on a few positions. Dazza up ahead, still ahead of Skyglide. Damon Hill doing a fantastic job. It's not the real Damon Hill, just to make you aware. Up into the sprint podium positions and just trying to bridge that gap between him and Regan McKinnon. Regan McKinnon's the medium tyre, still a better tyre to be on. Damon Hill closing in on Dan Morris, and Dan Morris closing Fleasy. We're about halfway through this sprint. And Fleasy looked like he was storming away. Did he take too much out of his tyres too soon? Skyglide retaking Dazza before Cops. As we see Kessler going wide, that'll give him a track limit warning and put him under threat from fire. It'll put a fire up his arse. Shawnee P close onto the McLaren of Hot Stepper, but not able to make a move as yet. Can Dazza retake P8 from Skyglide on the outside of Stowe? This could be a stormy move from the Red Bull. And Skyglide still battling all right to the end of the lap and stays just ahead. Brilliant driving from Skyglide and Dazza. Higher taking a quick look at Josh, but not able to make a move as yet. Stays P12, but is in the fight. Dan Morris has closed in on the race leader and put himself, he threw his hat in the ring. Regan McKinnon has thwarted Hot Stepper for now and just staying with Damon Hill. I'd have to say this is a night and day from the last couple of weeks, boys. Great driving, maybe just not a fan of. Whoa, what a move there from Dan Morris. Flick of the wrist. Made the overtake and just slotted his car right in the front of Fleasy, just ahead of Cops. That was brave. Hot Stepper and Shawnee, side by side. Hot Stepper gets ahead of the Sauber. We've got a yellow flag. Shawnee's lost out in a couple of positions here. I think going side by side through Mags and Beckett's. Dazza goes on through. Fleasy's lost out here to Damon Hill as well. Oh, it's 4 cars going to the final few corners. Fleasy's rode the curb, locked wheels with real Damon Hill. Dan Morrison Regan goes through. That wasn't. I've just give you guys all credit, and then you've just all gone into a complete cluster, which you didn't need to. Damon Hill on the inside of turn 3, Fleasy on the inside of turn 4 loop. That's better. This track's a lot wider. You don't need to be hugging. TT Fleazy knows just ahead. And has the inside of Brooklands, but Damon Hill's not giving up. Damon Hill has got the advantage now coming out of Luffield. But Fleazy, this is brilliant side-by-side racing, both on the same tyres. Fleazy's got his nose ahead and should... But TD, no, it's going to be side-by-side and Damon Hill's ahead. The Sauber slots behind, tries to switch back coming through Copse. This could be a brilliant overtake from Fleazy if he can stick, and he cannot. Damon Hill just drove with his elbows out. With these two battling, it's put Dan Morris and Regan McKinnon into the lead of the race now. Carcass has found himself up to P5 and makes a move on Fleazy on the inside of Stowe. Brilliant move from the McLaren. Dazzler and Skyglide battling again. P7, P8, Josh ahead of Shawnee P. Shawnee having a look on the inside of Vale. I've got to sneeze. I've got to sneeze. I'm not. I'm back. Lap 7 out of 9. 3 laps including this one to go. It's anyone's game. More the track limits than I expected to be on a sprint race. Crazy. Regan McKinnon's still stuck behind Dan Morris. Will there be a time when there's a tyre crossover and the hards become better than the mediums? It was an interesting call from the Haas. Damon Hill's still looking good, MP3, but he's got the McLaren and the Sauber chomping at his heels. Oh, TT Fleazy going deep at Copse. That would cost him a couple of tenths. Just drops back a bit slightly from the 2 cars ahead. Right, Megan McKinnon has DRS. Can he make a move now? Or is he just going to stay in the back of Dan Morris? He's there for now. And Damon Hill has a big enough gap, has a better launch coming out of Chapel. Josh ahead of Skyglide. Oh, the hard tyres just looking a little bit more settled now. Skyglide, his battle with Dazza has unfolded. And Josh has joined that party. Penultimate lap of the sprint race. And it's still 2-car battle for the win. Dan Morrison pole position as it stands. Regan McKinnon took pole position and is hunting down the Aston. Regan McKinnon still slotted behind Dan for now. I just need to get an invite for Mr. Sygate. Hopefully he should be able to join Quali. Or at least the race for the second part of this week. Regan McKinnon's stuck to Dan like glue. He's only a couple of tenths behind. He's very close. Dan has a better exit out of Chapel once again. Just needs to manage his laps here, Dan. And the win will be his, but Regan McKinnon is at his heels. TT Fleazy's tyres are just slightly wearing now. Has fell short from the P3 battle. And as it stands, Damon Hill will have it because of Carcass's penalty. Dazza has caught up to Hot Stepper. Hit Stepper on the back. Bournemouth 1, Leeds 1. I think if Leeds win this, they'll be like 12 points away from the relegation zone, which would be incredible. Not for Spurs. Right there, Josh. How are you, mate? We're on the final lap of this sprint here in Silverstone. And it's 3 tenths between the top 2. Dan Morris is held off Regan at the run up to Brooklands. Damon Hill's held off Carcass. Dazza isn't close enough to Hot Stepper as Regan McKinnon follows down through Copse corner. Approaching Maggott and Beckett's. Now Regan McKinnon, if he's to win this sprint, needs to have a good exit out of Chapel. Now all the previous laps, Dan has been the better driver out. But Regan McKinnon is right there. There's nothing Dan can do really apart from position his car on the inside. Oh, that was probably a late move there from Dan. Oh, loses back end though. Oh, Dan Morris. Oh no, and Regan McKinnon. Lock again. Oh my God, will take the race, the sprint win. That was unfortunate, Dan, but Regan McKinnon comes home, follows with his pole. Damon Hill comes home P2 and takes P1 in the Challenger in the sprint. TT Fleasy P3. Carcass on debut comes home P4. Dazza P5. Hot Step on upper 6. Skyline 7. Dan Morris P8. 9 for Josh. Shawnee P10. Fire 11th. Kessler P12. John will take P14 after Adina Rio jumps him on penalties. Not JMB. JMB is near it. It's not JMB. But Dead Divine. Oh. Another one invite there for Cygate. The bottle. Hot Stepper had 90% on his front left, so maybe hard tyres was the way to go. As we wait on Dead Divine to finish his lap. Regan's luck strikes again. I thought it was a potentially late move for Dan on defending. But there we go. There's your grid for the sprint. Regan McKinnon takes it. Damon Hill takes the win as well for the Challenger. TT Fleasy takes fastest lap and P3. Derek Carcass 4th. Dazza 5th. Hot Stepper 6th. Skylar 7th. Dan Morris 8th. 9th for Josh. Shawnee P rounds off the top 10. Fire and Kessler 11th and 12th. Idina Ryu 13th. 14th for Big John. Not JMB. It's JMB isn't here. And then Dead Divine 15th and 16th. Woo! There was a lot going on there. And we're back into quali again. One shot quali. And it's dry this time. Regan McKinnon proved better in the wet conditions. JMB lost his tyre. I think he punctured. Dan Morris's tyres must have been at the brink. And he lost traction going out of Stowe. Now we'll just wait for drivers just to sort out their strategies for the race. With it being a sprint, you do have limited tyres. I reckon somebody readied up here, and I'm going to smack their bottoms. Infuriating as we're back on. Let's go on with Damon Hill as he comes round. Abbey, turn 1, no braking at all, flat out. As we approach turn 3 of Village, named after, because there's a local village near us. Funny that. Round Luke Slow's corner on the circuit. Fling your car out of Aintree. Onto the Wellington Straight. DRS is open where we'll see 1 or 2 overtakes approaching Brooklands. That's better. Everyone's on soft tyres. Coming out of Lockfield and Woodcote. Currently running P10. Fleasy near the spear of the grid again. Dan Morris and Hot Stepper up there. Dazza as well. Regan McKinnon struggling in the dry, it seems. Full throttle round Copse corner. Well, we saw some brave overtakes in the sprint through Maggott and Beckett's, where you just want to feather the throttle, let off the throttle. He went a little bit wide coming out at the end and approaching Chapel. DRS will be open. Again, probably the best overtaking opportunity as we approach Stowe. Go as wide as possible. Turn your car in and carry as much speed through. Goes wide on the exit as we approach Vale. Kessler's crashed out and we'll start bang last. Around the final couple of corners, hug the inside of Club. And Dan Morris on pole with a 26.5. pips Regan McKinnon by 600ths. And they'll be happy with that after spinning out on the sprint. And validation from Carcass as well. Damon Hill starts 4th. Cracking. He's having a cracking week here, the Challenger driver. He's looking for some big points. Dan Morris then takes pole with a 26.5. Regan McKinnon joins him on the front row. Fleecy will have to start P3 with real Damon Hill alongside him, who's getting pole for the Challengers. Hot Stepper starts P5 with Skyglide P6. Shawnee P7th. P8 for Not J&B on debut. Good lap from him. Josh P9th and Big John round off the top 10. Sygate hasn't set a time. Neither has Kessler, Carcass, Dazza, Fire, Adinarui and Dead Divine all invalidating their laps. Damon Hill says he always loves Silverstone. I'd like to hope so. You're a British driver. Right. Anyone's listening, do not ready up. Do not ready up. Drivers need to sort out their strategies and their fuel loads. Only Dan Morris will be readying up. You will be given a harsh penalty if found. Jupiter 4? What do you mean, Jupiter 4? Who are you? Sousa Ribeiro? Who are you? Let's be having you. I don't live on that street, by the way. Drivers will be sorting out their strategies, as I mentioned. It is a track that's evolved over the course of its lifetime, part of the maiden F1 calendar in 1950. First GP was in 1948. It was, of course, attended by Queen Liz, R.I.P. But yeah, it's a very difficult one. You're not gonna prioritise any straights because there isn't really that many. Even though your overtaking opportunity is down the hangar, you're going to want to prioritise the corners and getting good grip on those fast flowing corners like Copse and Mags and Beckett's. Round Abbey. It looks like they're behaving now. I swear, like these Div 2 are like naughty children in school. They just keep misbehaving. As long as they drive clean, it's fine. Just abide by the rules. Stop being naughty. One of the favourite circuits, this one, and generally a staple on the LOLR calendar. Wasn't actually on this one, but because of the ineptability of Div 2 able to drive on street circuits, we've had to replace Singapore with this one, as mentioned earlier. It is a circuit that accompanies a series of challenging corners, tight bends and fast flat out speedy ones, which drivers love. By the order of the Peaky Pixies. Oh, I love that. I'm going to stick on a flat cap. So, interesting strategy call here. It is a one-stopper, I believe, but there's one or two going on the softs. Skyglide and Not J&B, maybe expecting an early safety car. Majority of starting on the mediums, and then you've got Josh, Carcass, Dazza and Fire all going on the alternate, expecting a long first stint. So, interesting call from those boys. Yes, the boys. I hate those adverts. They piss me off. They're horrible. This is, of course, the home of British driving, British racing, built on RAF at Silverstone in 1943. After they used to use it as training for night bombing during the war. Nicknamed the Mutton GP, as some local enthusiasts who were practicing racing on there hit a sheep and it turned into red mist, and the used it to make shepherd's pie. Leading us around Maggot-Beckett's here. Dan Morris is 5.8 kilometre circuit. Clockwise, of course. 18 corners, 10 to the right and 8 to the left, with 2 DRS zones, one down the Wellington and one down the hangar, which we're on now. There's an 88% chance of a safety car, hope not, and 13% chance of a VSC. Dan Morris. Not his first pole, knows how to get himself launched off the line. Regan McKinnon, he'll want to keep behind him. The championship leader has taken every win so far this season. Stole that sprint once again. And can anyone halt his charge? Fleasy will start on row 2 alongside Damon Hill, who's taken pole for the Challenger division. Hot Stepper P5 alongside Skyglide, who's leading the Challenger Championship as it stands. Sawney PP7, who will want to have a say in that. Not JMB 8th and Josh P9. John round off the top 10. Sygate P11. Everyone else in the grid box already. Naughty. We're waiting for the lights to get underway as we're 3, 4, 5. We're waiting and waiting, and it's lights out and away we go. 70 drives on the grid. Fire has lost out a couple positions already, and poor start to the line for the Ferrari. Sygate gained 2 positions. Big loss there for Kessler, who's got clattered going around Abbey. He's got no wing. You've got no fans and you've got no wing. And Skyglide as well. What's going on? Come on, boys. Skyglide down to P16. And doesn't have damage though, thankfully. And we'll be hoping maybe for a safety car as they're all getting congested here. Red Bull and Visa Carb side by side through Luffield. Not JB up to P5. The soft tyres working well for him off the line. With Damon Hill slotting behind him through Cops. You don't want to go off early as Hot Stepper goes wide through Cops. Dazza ahead of Carcass. They're going 3 wide. Oh, what's Carcass doing? Don't turn in there. Spatial awareness. As he, Dead Divine goes offline. His teammate goes through, fire now up to P12. Ruiz lost a wing. And is limping to the pit lane. Kessler's got a damaged end plate, I think. He doesn't, he was just shit. Fleasy ahead of Regan McKinnon coming out the final corner. This is moves here from the Sauber, but Regan McKinnon saying, no, you shall not. Leaving each other plenty of room. Fleasy out of the inside of turn 3. And I think Regan McKinnon is still not giving it up. Brilliant driving here from the Haas as well. Has the inside of loop. And I think he may have this. Still side by side. Regan McKinnon has just got his nose ahead. DRS is enabled. Regan McKinnon keeps hold of that P2. Great battle there. Hot Stepper. Step on up. This battle for P2. As Sygate in the Mercedes. Why are you in a Mercedes, Sygate? You're a Visa Carb driver. As fire. His car is on fire. His wing is missing. And he's down in P15. Not the damage you want when you're started on the hards. Sygate losing out a couple of positions down to P10 now through Cops and loses out to the McLaren as well. He's all in a tiz here, the Mercedes. Dead Divine goes through as well. Big John just slots behind him as they come out Chapel. Kessler ahead of fire then with his damage. Dead Divine on the inside of Ferrari, just shrugging off Big John. And we'll open the door for Skyglide, not J&B. Is his soft tyres wearing off already? He's lost out a couple of positions. And Fleasy's joined this battle for the lead of the race with a lap 3 out of 26 as Skyglide and the Ferrari Dead Divine coming through Abbey to Village. Good driving here, and Skyglide just slots behind the Ferrari, looks to do the switchback coming out of Aintree. But the Ferrari had the run as Dazza gets ahead of his teammate. Reserving for us this week. Pepso, of course, Dazza's teammate, missing. Fire is in the pits and sticking on some fresh mediums as Josh goes through those soft tyres. It mustn't be that great. They've done 2 laps on them and he's dropping like a sack of spuds. Skyguide was losing out to Dead Divine as well. These soft tyres must be terrible. Fleazy just sniffing what Regan McKinnon had for breakfast as J&B. Sorry, it's not J&B. And just getting himself back ahead of Josh. But Josh on the inside of Vale. Oh, lots of traction there out of the first corner of Club. Oh, and Josh is round. And he's hit the wall. He's facing the wrong way. And he's damaged his wing. Lots of traction on the hards there for Josh. Promoted up to the professional tier from Challenger last season after just missing out. Bournemouth 2-1. Dirty leads. Skyguide and Dead Divine at it again. Got a yellow flag. It's Fire coming around Stowe. Skyguide just ahead, but it's a battle here. Carcass and not JMB. The Red Bull taking a look at the McLaren. Just has to follow him round Cops for now. Just stuck in the dirty air. Very difficult to follow. Dead Divine behind Skyglide. He's got Sygate and John behind as well. This is a great battle here for P8. As Damon Hill getting past Hot Stepper. And up to P4. What a drive here from the Mercedes. As his teammate on the inside of Stowe. Slight wheel contact with Dead Divine. But no damage done, and Sygate up to P11. He's actually a Visa Carb driver. Teamed up with Josh. He might get in his right car one week. Oh, and the Aston Martin goes round. And Sygate is caught in the calamity there. And Josh has gone into the pits and retired. It's unfortunate for Sygate. Nothing he could do. He's just a passenger. Sky Guy losing traction. Coming around the final corner. That's John. Lose out to Dead Divine. Carcass goes through on not J&B. Front three still as it was. Dan Morris controlling this race. As it's all settled now into lap 5. Big John past Dead Divine as we approach Cops. Both go wide. There's going to be some track limit warnings, I predict, coming through here. But John leads them through. Mags and Beckett's Kessler, his teammate, just behind. Dead Divine under threat from Williams in front and behind. But they're in this battle here for P8. Not JMB, just not close enough just as yet. Skyguy gets past Sygate. Sygate, of course, with that damage. We'll probably see him pit. Don't get an Italian hand gesture here. Good lad. Good lad. So great. Starting on the mediums. Amazon says it's a 2-stopper. Will we see a 1-stopper on show? These medium runners will need to get to a lap. Maybe 12 or 13 to make it possible. Oh, Regan McKinnon just keeping hold of his car. Good control of his rear end. Coming out of Luffield. Dan Morris Still controlling as it stands, and this battle for P1 potentially has got some more contenders joining the party as Damon Hill has jumped into DRS range as he jumps onto Chapel. Hot Stepper, Shawnee and Dazza all in tow as we go round Stowe. Yeah, yeah. Kessler managed to get past the Ferrari now as, oh, John completely misses his braking point and just classes the back of the Red Bull, who I should assume is going to be pitting now, get off those soft tyres. He probably didn't expect him to go so slow. Italian hand gesture for not J&B. Speed in the pit lane. What a Donald Trump you are. Sky glides in as well. Soft tyres probably wasn't the way to go. Dead Divine struggling with these track limits today. Damon Hill just slightly adrift. Got a good exit out of Luffield. Just needs to stay in touch with this front three. And they'll be in contention. Bournemouth 3-1. Leeds are just not out of it as yet. We go yellow flag. It's out of Luffield. I think it's Carcass. The Vultures will be picking at his carcass if he doesn't get it moving. I think he's dead. He's going. Does he have damage? Shawnee P, the challenger driver, getting past the professional up to P5 as we see a battle here. Regan McKinnon first to pit, then looking to do an undercut. Regan McKinnon potentially, well, Regan McKinnon's done. He's dealt his hand. He's doing a two-stopper. First one to pit, then jumping onto a set of hards. He's not doing 18 laps on these hards, surely. Kessler's in as well. Dead Divine's going in. Carcass is sped in the pit lane. He's going from bad to worse. Italian hand gesture, and he's retired anyway. He's died, and he's not gone to heaven. He's chum. He's dog chum. Regan McKinnon getting past John after just coming out of the pits. John didn't bat it too hard. Both on different strategies, of course, and it's some open hair. It means he's bald. Open air for Regan McKinnon to put some laps down then. Idina and Fire having a good battle here for P12. A dose of DRS here for the Ferrari as he comes out Aintree and gets himself a track limits by going too wide. And stays where he is as Dazza gets ahead of Hot Stepper, who goes into the pits as well. Dan, Fleasy, Damon Hill all in. Shawnee P carries on. He doesn't really get stuck behind his teammate and takes the lead of the race. And he's got Dazza in his rear view mirror. Both on different strategies as well. 3 seconds for Regan McKinnon. Will penalties play their big part for who to depict who will win this race, who will be on the podium? Regan McKinnon coming around to turn 1 now. Dan Morris, Fleasy just coming out. Regan McKinnon will just jump slightly ahead and will get a slight undercut. But of course has that track limit penalty to his name. Damon Hill has come out behind Big John. Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. Damon Hill will have a dose of DRS. We want to be stuck behind John for too long on those old mediums. Has a quick look on the inside of Brooklands. He should get good enough traction coming out of Luffield. He won't want to be stuck behind him through Maggots and Beckett's. On the inside of Cops and does get himself just ahead. John again didn't fight it that much. Damon Hill can breathe a sigh of relief and keep one eye on the guys ahead. He's lost a little bit of time to Fleasy and Dan. But I'm sure he can close that gap. Dazza and Shawnee P still in the lead of this race. Shawnee P still carrying on. Well, is Shawnee looking to do the one-stopper? If he goes another 3 laps, it might be on for him. It'd be very, very interesting if he could. Regan McKinnon in. Currently P3. Dan Morris still in the net lead of the race. Sky Guy getting past. Not J and B with the dose of DRS up to P10. Damon Hill dropping back now from the professional tier drivers. Either that or just biding his time. Hot Steppers managed to get past Big John as well. Big John going a little bit wide at loop. Man City have won. Burnley are relegated and Man City are top of the league. Sorry, Dan Morris. But if you win this, you're getting a bottle, not a trophy. Dazza getting past Shawnee with DRS. Shawnee just picking up that track limits. He'll be wanting to try and finish ahead of Skyglide. Battle here with Rui and 2 Ferraris. Rui then the Haas just holding them off for now. But Dead Divine, is he going to try and take a quick look ahead of Cops? Rui defends it. And side by side ahead going to Maggie Beckinson. The Ferrari's got himself ahead. Rui went quite wide going through Cops. And come a bit of a cropper there. As Fleasy is setting the fastest lap, has closed the gap on Dan Morris. Both still a couple of seconds behind Regan McKinnon. As Adina Rie back ahead of the Ferrari from DRS through Stowe. We'll jump back on this battle, and Damon Hill just not got the pace that he did have with the mediums. Just struggling to get the tyre temperature in these hards and losing plenty of time. It's a good battle here with Dan and Fleasy, and technically Regan McKinnon, who's got the 3-second time penalty at the moment, will take him behind Fleasy. Bloody hell, Bournemouth's goal was disallowed and it's Leeds 2-2. One second, guys, I've just got to get the phone. I apologise. Right, apologies for that, guys. I couldn't. I had to get that phone. YouTube, stop trying to sell me stuff. I'm not interested. Right, I saw Shawnee P go into the pits. He's come out in P7 behind his teammate, but he does have that track limit penalty. Dazza looks like he's going for the one-stopper. He's gone round again. He's in the lead of the race, so Dazza putting himself in contention for the race win. Looking like he's doing some great tyre management. He's got a good 10 seconds or so. The pit stop's about 19 seconds or so. So definitely in contention, especially if everyone else is going to pit. There's no way Regan McKinnon can survive on 18 lap old tyres. He's still got 2 seconds or so to the guys behind him. And what it looks like Damon Hill's just found the optimum tyre temperature and has just slightly closed the gap on Dan and Fleasy. As Fleasy, oh, I thought he was going to go, but he's right on the coattails of the Aston Martin. Tried to make an overtake attempt at Brooklands, but is still just looking in the exhaust pipe of the Aston Martin. He'll have a second bite to the cherry going out of Chapel. As a slingshot out of Chapel now. And they could potentially work together with DRS to try and close the gap on Regan McKinnon. Battle here between the Ferrari and Ardina is on again, and the Ferrari is back ahead of the Haas. Running P11, he's got many penalties though. Regan's got 3-second track limits, not 10 seconds. Side by side, approaching Maggots, but the Ferrari's still just ahead. Fleasy's still struggling to get past the Aston Martin. Some great defence on show here from Dan. Can he keep control of his rear end? We don't want to see another loss of traction like he did in the sprint. And here we go again. Haas on Ferrari. Haas just ahead. Oh, it has to swap behind. Knows that he's going to lose a wing if he dives on the inside. Some great driving there from the Haas driver. Sargate behind Big John. Big John just pitting. It's on some fresh rubber, and Big John looking to go to the end now on those hards. Sky Glides. Not where we're used to seeing him. He's currently P3. And the chasing pack behind him. Italian hand gesture for fire. His pants are on fire because he sped over the pit lane. Chump. Yeah, the Shorty P and Damon Hill chasing down Skyguy. Both will get a points advantage if it stays as it is. And we'll make a fantastic battle. Let me just see who's just behind them, because we want to obviously get more drivers into the battle. Magle is missing this week, so Ardina Rui will gain some points and overtake the Alpine. Dead Divine. Well, to be fair, both Ferraris need to finish the race. They've got no points yet this season. And if they can both finish, there'll be some brilliant points on the board. They're over halfway through. You can do it, boys. Fleasy here now is all over the back of Damos. You can't get any closer. Dead Divine has to be careful. He might disqualify himself with many penalties. Oh, he's only got 9. He must have served his penalty. Apologies, my friend. Fleasy just not close enough yet on Dan. They were sharing underwear. They were that close. So J&B lost out here too. Dead Divine enjoying that battle. Italian hand gesture for Daza, and that's your fight for the win out the window. All that hard work in the bin. Italian hand gesture, Daza. You had it in your hands. Hot stepper coming around turn 1. Should make the jump on Daza. Shawnee P's coming round as well. Should jump him too. But Dazza would have gone to the end of the race. Well, everyone else potentially still having to pit and could have won this race. Dazza has made a massive mistake. I didn't reel heading out of not J and B. Both into the pits. Don't speed. Don't speed. Oh, J and B. What the hell's J and B doing? That's naughty. Big John goes through. Sidegate's in as well. Oh, Dazza. What an error. You could have won this race. Or it had the potential to win the race. As it stands, Regan McKinnon's in the lead. Dan Morris 2 seconds behind. Needs to stay within that 3 seconds. Will jump down to P3. Fleasy wants this race win though. To be fair, Dan Morris wants this race win as well. Dan Morris he's got himself on the podium. He got P3. No, he didn't. He got P2 in Vegas. In Baku, P2 in Vegas, and P3 in Monza. So, always the bridesmaid, never the bride here, Dan Morris. No pressure. He's got a Fleasy with company and just can't shake him off. He's like a fly on a hungry child in a third world country. Skyglide and Kessler both in the pits then doing their second pit stop. Daz has caught up to Shawnee P, but he's got that 10 seconds. Should be able to make this move. And the gap is closing here. They've gained half a second. What's happened to Regan McKinnon? Oh, Regan McKinnon's in the pits. I thought something happened to Regan McKinnon, but Regan McKinnon is pitting for his second pit stop. Dan Morris and Fleasy go on through. Will he attempt just to go to the end? Regan McKinnon will look to do an undercut here, so if I was those two, I would have tried to follow his race strategy. Damon Hill goes through. Hot Stepper's gone through. So Regan McKinnon, yeah, doing the undercut. Will be an open air as well, so be able to bump in some laps. Big John and Dead Divine having a good battle through Stowe as Dead Divine goes in. Don't speed. Don't speed. Good lad. Williams or Kessler will go on through and slotting behind his teammate in P9. It's just Pitt himself. Regan McKinnon's got 7 seconds of open air. If I was these two, I'd just go fuck it and try and stay out. I'll save laps J and B. Dead Divine coming out of the pits now is Dina Rui, who pit a couple of laps earlier, has come out ahead of him and has got a good few second advantage. Dan Morris and Fleasy in the pits then. They don't think the tyres can last. Will Damon Hill go through? He does not, and will take the lead of the race. We've got 7 laps to go, including this one. Will Damon Hill try to stay out? Hot Stepper's in. Shawnee P can go to the end of the race. He's got 7 laps or so. Well, there's Shawnee P could probably go to the end of the race. He's got Dazza in his rear view. But Regan McKinnon closing. What will Damon Hill do? Will he follow suit and pit, or will he try and stay out and go to the end? He's got a big chance of a win here. Regan McKinnon's got 14 seconds, and that's not including his penalty. So if he can keep it within the white lines, manage his tyres, Damon Hill could take the win. And this would be incredible from the Challenger driver. Let's keep an eye on that. Fleasy still stuck behind Dan Morris. Didn't manage to jump him in the pit lane. Has lost out maybe half a second or so. Have to find another penalty. Make sure he's not playing snooker. He's racking up. Dazza on the outside of Stowe. Brilliant overtake from the Red Bull. Up to P2, but he does have that massive penalty. And we'll want to try and shake off Shawnee. All the while, Regan McKinnon just closing. Fleasy's closer now. Putting pressure on the Aston Martin. Crucially for this battle, though, they are out of penalty range of Regan McKinnon. So Regan McKinnon has taken advantage both times during the pit stops and taken advantage of that undercut. These two need to close the gap and get under that 3 seconds to have any chance of winning this race. But I think it's all down to what Damon Hill does here. Well, that 20 of 26. He's on his own. There's no pressure at all. If he can nurse these tyres to the end. He's got about 16 seconds, I'd say, advantage over Regan McKinnon as it stands. But we don't want him to push and get a puncture either. So, yeah, it'll be interesting what his call is. Williams drivers exchange positions. Kessler overtaking Big John. Big John reserving, of course, in the Williams. Letting his teammate go. He's getting those extra points in P8. Still this battle for P5. They are closing ever so slightly on Regan McKinnon. They're on a different tyre strategy to the Haas, who should be very comfortable going to the end on the hards. To be fair, these mediums should be really comfortable going to the end. Step on up, get yourself a penalty. He's on his no man's land in P7 at the moment. Comfortable drive here for the McLaren. I think Damon Hill's going for it. He would have pit by now. Damon Hill is going for the win. This would be incredible. If he could just nurse his tyres. Regan McKinnon's got to try and battle through Dazza and Shawnee. And he's not. He's probably going to take him another lap or so to try and get past them. Dan Morris under that 3 seconds now. Looking for that podium. Eyeing up that win. It's out of his hands as it stands. Lol. Please, he's still stuck behind him. Kind of similar how we had Adam and Benji in Div 1. Just took ages for him to get past. And he just needs to bide his time. Regan McKinnon's within DRS now of Shawnee P. We'll look, try and get a good slingshot out of Aintree. Shawnee P does not have DRS himself. Regan McKinnon's closing in. Shawnee P defending. Not able to make the overtake just yet. The Haas, just locks up slightly. Skyglide up to P9 past Big John. Coming through Vale. Still stuck behind Damon Hill and Shawnee here. As Regan McKinney and Shawnee side by side. Regan McKinnon goes wide out of Cops, but is up to P3 now. Over 2 seconds behind Dazza, but Dazza's got that massive penalty. Dan Morris needs to close the gap. Will Shawnee let Dan and TT Fleasy through. If he holds up Dan, it might hamper his teammates' chances of a podium. What will Shawnee P do? 3 laps to go. I'll keep an eye on these penalties here, because if one of these pick one up, if Regan picks one up, Damon Hill picks one up, my nails will be even worse than they already are. Dan Morris is within DRS of the Sauber. He's caught between the two. Will Fleasy look to make a move? Takes a look. Knows better of it. Does not want to ruin his or Dan's race. Dan goes slightly wide at Luffield. TD Fleasy looking to make a move. On the opposite side, slight wheel banging, but slots back behind Dan Morris. Dan will be stuck behind Shawnee P through Maggotts and Beckett's, which will only open the gap between him and Regan McKinnon. He needs to make the move going towards Stowe. But the dirty air through Maggotts and Beckett's is terrible. Is he close enough? Is he close enough? It's going to be a late move on the outside. The Aston Martin through Stowe. Brilliant move from Dan Morris. Shawnee P does let Fleasy through. Brilliant team play. And we're back where we were again. Lap 24 and 26. Damon Hill still in the lead of the race. He's got 6 seconds on Dazza in P2. Dead Divine and Idina Ruiz still battling hard to the racing line, to the finish line. Dead Divine ahead in P11. But he's as well got many penalties. But we'll jump back up. Shawnee P can just get pulled along by his teammate now. Dazza holding up Regan McKinnon will be good for the chasing Dan Morris and TT Fleasy. Will he be able to make the move before Cops? He's got a good launch coming through Woodcote. He's going for it. Great move from Regan McKinnon. Oh, excuse me. Made the move ahead of Cops, and Dazza could do nothing. Used a lot of ERS. He did not want to lose time. And he's got basically 9.5 seconds to make up in 2 and a bit laps on Damon Hill. Damon Hill has got 2 and a bit laps to keep hold of his tyres. It's all on. Yellow flag. It's a fire. His car's on fire. Coming at Brooklands. He's on soft tyres and they will be horrible. He needs to nurse his tyres, not push it. He's gonna have no traction at all. These tyres are going to be horrible. Not the best tyre to go on, unfortunately, on this sort of track. Denurio still stuck behind Dead Divine, looking to make a move. Hot Stepper in the pits. He's going to look to get an extra point. He's got a big gap between him and Kessler. So it's a decent strategy call here. There's another yellow flag and it's fire through Maggotts and Beckett's. And another penalty for Dead Divine. 5.8 seconds between Damon Hill and Regan McKinnon. Regan McKinnon might not even finish on the podium here. I wouldn't say he's showing a weakness. The Red Bull needs to get away, which he does. Good driving there from Not JMB. Jack says Dan Morris needs to stay within 3 seconds. He needs to get past Dazza here. Dazza's fortunate, got a dose of DRS off the chasing car. Dan should be on better tyres here than... He's still within 2 seconds. If I was Dazza, I'd move out of the way. He's got that massive penalty. He'll just be impacting this battle. Dan, is he going to try and take a look? He's pushing him round Abbey. He's going to have to try and make a move. He does on the inside of turn 3. We're on the final lap. There's 4.5 seconds between Damon Hill and Regan McKinnon. Dan Morris has managed to get past Dazza. Fleasy goes through as well. Oh! And that was not ideal for Fleasy. I think that was Fleasy as he just lost his back end going on the outside, turned in on Dazza. Another yellow flag. I think it's fire. His cars are not great. His tyres are not great. As Damon Hill goes through and will pass the Ferrari through Magnussen Beckett's for the final time. He's been doing these laps for now. It'll be 18 laps on these hard tyres. Get out of the way, you silly bastard. Through Stowe goes the Mercedes. 3 corners left to go. This is going to be an incredible performance. 1 stopper from Damon Hill. He's had a world championship. He's got his first Lights Out League Racing win for Div 2 here at Silverstone. Regan McKinnon will cross the line in P2, but Dan Morris will pinch that. Oh, he's the bridesmaid, never the bride. P2 for Dan Morris. Regan McKinnon will come in P3. Shawnee comes home in P4 and will take P2. Fleasy comes home P5 and will take P3 in the professional tier. Dazza comes home P6 after his penalties. Hot Stepper. Dan Morris, woohoo, loves Silverstone. Silverstone loves him. Can Hot Stepper get the fastest lap and will cross the line P7? He does with a 28.1. Fire speeding in the pit lane. Why are you going in the pit lane? You donk. Sky Guy comes home P8 and will have his gap closed. Kessler comes home P9. Big John crosses the line. Top 10 for Big John. Big congratulations to him. Fine drive from the Williams reserve. Idina Rui will come home and win that battle with Dead Divine. P11 for the Haas. Dead Divine has many penalties. Finish P12. I think Sygate will jump him. He does. And look at that jazz, look at that jive. Damon Hill has won at Silverstone. Stop step for the British driver at his home race. Big congratulations to him. Fastest lap goes to Hot Stepper. Driver of the day is given to Dazza by the game. It's obviously decided by the drivers. But your grid for Silverstone. Damon Hill takes the race win with a 1-stopper. And big congratulations to him. Dan Morris comes home P2. Regan McKinnon rounding off the podium P3. Shawnee P takes P2 in the Challenger tier, with Fleasy taking P3 in the professional. Dazza coming home P6. Hot Stepper, and yeah, from 14th will probably get the extra bonus point. Hot Stepper P7 and the fast lap with the 28.1. Sky Guide P8 and the P3, I think, in the Challenger tier. Kessler around P9 and Big John round off the top 10. Idina Rui P11, Sygate P12, Dead Divine 13th, Not JMB 14th on debut, Fire P15, Carcass 16th and Josh 17th, both DNFing. Big shout out to the Ferraris getting the first points of the season on this week's race. Whew, some couple of great races this week. Absolutely loved them. We had Div 1, of course, before this, and Div 2. If you want to see more Lights Out League racing, join us next week. 7:30 UK for Div 1, where we'll be doing the sprint race in Singapore. 9 p.m. UK for the Div 2 if you want to see them again. And they will be going on the streets of Australia. Dan's first win going to come. It will come, Dan. You were just out-strategized by Damon Hill. And to be fair, you probably shake his hand on a brilliant performance. But it would have been yours. You were so close. You could have had the sprint. You lost your back end. But no, good week for you, Dan. You know, you've gained points on Regan, so I'm sure. But everybody else, thank you for joining. My name is Alex. This is Lights Out Lee Racing. Peace out.